Hello viewers, good evening. I am Dr. Aftab Hasmi, present in front of you. Today in my lecture series, I am going to describe modernism and modern poetry in English literature. In fact, in literature, modernism is a very vast and complicated word which itself belongs to and connect to any age. But here, with duration of time and passage of time, I am talking the modernism which start from the 20th century and late 19th century. And modern literature and modern poetry, in fact, one of the milestone in the field of English literature. It reminds us one of the great age of literary like Elizabethan era or Victorian era. So, modern poetry is one of the epitomes. There are many reasons behind it: the transition, the political changes, the economical upheavals, the social and cultural clashes, the struggle of cultures, racism, ethnicity, imperialism or colonization. That means this era was totally age of uphills, age of ups and downs. It seems that the span of time has shrunken. The things are happening so fast. The one thing could complete itself, the another and more another reveals. So this age or this era was full of confusion, dissatisfaction, illusion, mentally disturbance, unrest, crisis, spiritual crisis. But the other side, growing of economy, making the jungle of concrete, developing the cities, skyscrapers. It seems that we are going to win not only the world, but we are going to win the universe. There was also confrontation with religion. The number of peoples become atheists. It was the age of science and technology. People believe and change and depends totally. Their scientific point of view have changed. People become more rational and reliable on science and technology. So, in this modern age, not only 1, 2, 3 or some moments, there are a series of moments. There was a series of there was a series of ups and downs, and there were series of transcendence, transition, and transformation. In fact, it was the age of totally transformation. In this age, there were two great wars. That was the World War. The First World War was due to imperialism, and Second World War was also the main root that was hidden in the First World War. And the Second World War, the impact and influence we all know as a result of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So there are many things to say and explain and explore on the modern age through the lens of literature through the lens of English literature. But today, specifically, I am going to describe the first stanza of a very well-known poem. The title of the poem is A Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. This poem is composed or written by T.S. Eliot. I think one of the greatest poet of modern age, and will be and shall be remain forever. I think T.S. Eliot is just like an epitome, like Shakespeare, Milton, Dryden, and one cannot forget T.S. Eliot, like one cannot forget Milton, Dryden, Dr. Johnson, and William Shakespeare. He is the person who got his half of the life to receiving prize and award. You can just imagine the first phase of his life was so creative that the later part of his life remained to receive awards. How was the person he was, and how was the philosopher, poet, dramatist, and man in person he was. The first stanza of the poem is, "Let us go then, you and I. Let us go then, you and I, when the evening is spread out against the sky, like a peasant etherized upon a table. Let us go then, you and I, when the evening is spread out against the sky, like a peasant etherized upon a table. Let us go through certain half-deserted streets, the muttering retreats of restless nights in one-night cheap hotels and sawdust restaurants with austere shelter, streets that follow like a tedious argument of insidious intent to lead you to an overwhelming question. From the very first line, a stanza, it seems that poet is going to an explore, going to a trip. Very good. Let us go then, you and I. It's a very romantic and imaginative line. When the evening is spread out, it is also adding the flavor of romance and imagination. Against the sky. Now the game starts from here. Like a peasant etherized upon a table. This is a comparison, and this is the modernism. Poet says that let us go to a trip with a romantic mood, with feeling good, with feeling happy, and the time is very enjoyable because it is evening time, and the sky, and where to go against the sky, where the evening is spread out. But when we reach the line, like a peasant etherized upon a table, these lines make jolts. Which types of evening it will be? Ether in the olden times used in surgery to anesthetize a patient. In anesthesia, when doctor have to operate someone, the first condition of operation is that the patient should be unconscious. And how does the patient become unconscious? So ether was the option on that time. In modern time there are many options. So the evening is etherized. What does the poet want to say? What does the poet convey? Which types of evening we have made? The evening, which in itself is very serene, peaceful, calmness, but here the evening is paralyzed. Here evening is anesthetized like a patient. Next line. Let us go through certain half-deserted streets. The metering retreats. Once again the poet says that we are going to walk on the road. That road is half deserted. Deserted means where people often less come to walk. Deserted place, a place where no one can live. But in modern times and evening, the streets are not deserted. It is very crowded. And today evening, in nowadays evening, it's a restless evening, because it's the age of spiritual crisis. People's spirit or soul or morality has been lost somewhere else, and they are isolated, they are anxious, they are depressed, they feel loneliness, the longings, they are introverts, they want to cry but they don't, they want to be purgative but don't they be. And people are searching their pleasure in the crowded street, where the cheap hotels and cheap restaurants and the street foods are available. People go there often, eat, sit, talk, and do cheap pleasure. They involve themselves in cheap pleasure. This is the reality of today's world. The poem's structure was heavily influenced by T.S. Eliot. Extensive reading of Dante Alighieri. T.S. Eliot was a voracious reader. If we compare T.S. Eliot in reading, then I have to compare him with Bhagwan Osho, the great Rajneesh. Not in philosophical and other comparison, I am only making a comparison with reading. Osho was also a great man and philosopher who read most of the book in the world. Like T.S. Eliot was also read almost most of the books. And he was also influenced by Dante. And Dante is himself the greatest classical writer, great Italian. In other topic and other video we will discuss Dante and Alighieri. Here T.S. Eliot extensive reading of Dante Alighieri and makes several references to the Bible and other literary works, including William Shakespeare's plays, Henry IV, Part 2, Twelfth Night, and Hamlet. The poetry of 17th century metaphysical poet Henry Marvell and 19th century French symbolist or French symbolist Eliot narrates the experience of Prufrock using the stream of consciousness technique developed by his fellow modernist writers. The poem described as a drama of literary anguish is a dramatic interior monologue of an urban man stricken with feeling of isolation and an incapability for decisive action that is said to epitomize frustration and impotence of the modern individual and represent the wrath, desire, and modern disillusionment. Thank you. Like and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.